Packed house here as they get a look at the Toyota Camry XSE with that brand new nose that's leading the field here of 36. Beautiful day. Rain here yesterday on and off, but right now 81 degrees, a light breeze out of the northwest, mostly sunny, and the track temp much higher than yesterday, 120 degrees. Here's today's race analysis, sponsored by Credit One Bank. And note especially the stage lengths. Usually the first two stages are the short ones, the third stage is the long one. But we'll go 45, 95, and then 100 laps to make up the 300 miles, 40 miles an hour down pit road. The fuel window is longer than stage one, but not as long as stage 2 or 3. These drivers have done very well here. And last season, they were all in victory lane by this time. However, not this year. Still looking for win number 1 of the season. And here's some radio from one of them, Ryan Blaney.
Job of qualifying, job of practice. Feel like got a pretty decent shot at it here. Try to keep us in the game all day. I'll do the best I can on the racetrack. Let you know what I need. You'll have a good day down there. Be safe. No it's tight. I'll do the best job I can getting in and out of that thing for you. Good luck, guys.
Thoughts of Ryan Blaney. They'll give the field 1 to go this time by. We'll have 7 onboard cameras, including the Monster Energy cam on board Ty Gibbs. The Rebel Bourbon on number 8 should be number 100. That stuff's 100 proof, you know, for Kyle Busch there. Valvoline cam riding along with William Byron, just outside the top 10. And the Hunt Brothers Pizza cam for Joey Logano, who won here 2 years ago. And the Chili's onboard camera with Corey LaJoie. And Chase Briscoe carrying the Ford Performance cam. John Hunter Nemechek carries our Toyota cam today.
Keep an eye on these restarts. It'll happen right here on the first one. That's where all the action is. Dive bombing, getting into turn 1, Kevin.
And all these guys know it. They know they got to go and they got to make something happen as quick as they can, because when the cars get strung out, it just takes longer to make up track position. Beginning of this race, though, a lot different conditions than we had yesterday, so it could catch some of these guys off guard with the grip level that their car has.
I'm so glad you warned Michael McDowell about the explosion.
Look at all the look at all the debris on the track.
Hey, I like it. I mean, that's just the way we do things in the Midwest. You want some explosions, we'll just make it a little bit bigger. If a little feels good, more is going to be better.
Well, that is definitely the biggest explosion that happens all year on the circuit, on the backstretch here at St. Louis. You get a little firework residue back there, but it'll all blow off.
It ain't nothing.
It'll be fine.
Nothing for the fireworks we're fixing to see getting off into turn 1. Hold on, boys. Huge crowd. Look at them, all on their feet, packed house. Just
Michael McDowell, Austin Cindric on the front row. 2 Fords to lead them to green. McDowell has chosen the outside.
That's a great shot right there. Look how narrow that front stretch is. Dive bombs are coming, turn 1. Look out.
Green flag. The Enjoy Illinois 300 is underway, and McDowell gets a good jump.
You see him slipping and sliding around back there.
Yeah, you see Austin Cindric have a little bit of trouble in the middle of the corner, got up the racetrack. Christopher Bell got by. Ryan Blaney's underneath him there going into turn 3 as well.
Had a lot of 3 wide.
Cindric still
at the south end, not so much up here in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, and you see that soft wall right there, how it kind of sticks out. It really narrows that exit up off of turn 4. As you want to finish that corner, you got to almost turn back for that wall. Oh,
whoa, hold on to it, Brad.
Big slide for Keselowski.
Did he get help?
It looked like it.
Loses a lot of spots and holds up Joey Logano there, who had a good run. And that's Logano's camera lens with a lot of dirt on it from Keselowski's big slide.
Yeah, that one's definitely been in the grass. 3 wide. Truex on the outside. Bold move. early in the race.
Well, we were talking earlier, Clint. I think this is definitely one of those days that we're going to see at least the groove in 1 and 2 spread out pretty good because of the temperature on the racetrack.
Turn 2 at the exit. 2 cars at the back of the field have gotten together and spun.
Caution's out.
John Hunter Nemechek,
Cody Ware,
and we're under caution at lap 3.
Well, here we go. Yeah, we talked about when these cautions would fall because that's really what starts this strategy. You got an extremely short first stage right here, only 45 laps. And now we're already, I know it's only 4 laps, but the strategy game will begin.
We'll take a look at this through John Hunter Nemechek's on board. Around he goes with Cody Ware. Welcome back to Madison, Illinois. That was the pre-race pyrotechnics on the backstretch. That is a tradition here. Unfortunately, there's a bit of debris that comes down. What goes up must come down. And look at it on the lens here of some of these cars as they go by. And some of that stuff falls to the track.
I don't think it was quite down there on that one. Now, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have blown the track off a little bit, but.
Now here's what happened to Brad Kay. I'm sorry, we'll have that for you. What showed him get way up and out of the groove, but did not cause a caution. What did was lap 3, John Hunter Nemechek going around.
Yeah, here it is. You see on the Right part of your screen. Bubba Wallace just gets loose, has to chase it up, gets in the side of him. Great save by both drivers. It's going to lose him some spots, but not near as many as it would if they were around backwards.
Live to fight another day.
That's exactly right. Good save, Brad Keselowski.
Keselowski started 7th. He is now 11th. And we were invited to sit in on the pole sitters pre-race team meeting today.
First thing I want to start off with, I mean, it's not just a normal pole. It's the first non-speedway pole for Michael, for the company. That's really good. So round of applause for everybody right there. That's good. Another great thing about getting the pole, you know, we got, I think it's almost a second of advantage on pit road time today. So that's going to be huge. Historically, the guys that run top 10 all day here. I can't imagine how fun next week be if we already got a win in the bag too. All right, guys, let's do it. Cool. Thanks, y'all.
McDowell has led all 6 laps, 3 under green, 3 under caution now, as they line up for the restart with Christopher Bell, who started the race 4th, alongside then Blaney and Cindric, Reddick and Hamlin. 4 drivers elected to pit: Daniel Hemrick, Cody Ware, Todd Gilliland, and John Hunter Nemechek.
Just how important is that #1 stall, Kevin? Did that man say a second faster?
He said 1 second, and that is a massive difference because it also takes a lot of pressure off the pit crew. They know that they have that little bit of cushion to be able to take their time.
Into the restart zone, the engines come to full song, and the green flag waves again.
Christopher Bell got a much better jump alongside McDowell.
It's
Can
just
he take the lead here off the 2?
It's so hard to complete that pass when you can't go all the way up the racetrack and finish your momentum down the back straightaway. And you see the outside prevail right there with Michael McDowell.
Side by side for 3rd with Blaney on the outside of Cindric now. Tyler Reddick looking on, and Ty Gibbs coming on the outside behind him with Hamlin.
As you're going into turn 1 right there, you're going to downshift twice, so there's a lot of torque and drive up off the corner with the engine that you have to be really careful. Like we saw John Hunter Nemechek, it's real easy to spin out if you can't finish the corner and you're underneath somebody.
Kyle Busch started 10th, running 11th. Here's the radio from Team 8.
A lot of these guys are just sideways loose, no grip, they can't get it to stick, 23 especially, the 2 also up there. I was okay, just tight, just waiting on the front to bite, to go, and then when it does bite, don't get in a hurry with it because they might lose it again.
Well, and that's exactly what we were just talking about. It's such a fine line of being able to put the throttle down, but when you get to the center of the corner, you roll a little partial throttle to it and you want to put it all the way down, you know, late center part of the corner because the straightaways are so long here, Clint.
Yeah, they are. That momentum carried. It goes all the way through the corner, though. If you're not carrying momentum off the corner, you get bogged down on the bottom like you see Logano. You just talked about it at the front of the pack with McDowell and Bell. They hold you down and take that exit away from you. There's your speed. That's your momentum all the way down that long straightaway. You have to reset, get another run at him, and make another attempt.
Yeah. And what a different racetrack this is from the one they practiced on yesterday. Had to be wholesale changes between the track conditions they found when it was almost raining and cool yesterday morning and now.
Well, that's what they get paid the big bucks for, Mike. You know, they had to make a lot of guesses overnight as to what the pace was going to be and how much slower that pace was going to be to get your cars low enough to the ground. But here, if your car is too low to the ground, it's almost uncomfortable to drive on the straightaway with as hard as it sits on the limiters in order to be where it needs to be through the corner.
See, that's the hardest thing. As I listen to you talk about that, you have to go into more in depth. Like the grip that comes in these new race cars comes from the ride heights. And when that track temperature changes, the speed changes in it. And if that thing isn't adjusted correctly, your day might as well be junk. It is all in the ride heights, and that is a little bit of a still with all the science in these cars. It's still a guessing game as to figuring out what the pace is going to be.
Yeah, you want the back of that car as low as you can get it with that diffuser on the back. The lower you keep it to the ground, the more downforce that it makes. So you're talking sometimes 100, 150 pounds of downforce if you get your heights off too much, maybe by 1/8 of an inch.
Let's check with Jamie.
Well, you heard the radio, Kyle Busch. Remember, he has been so good here. Finished first and second in their 2 outings here in the Cup Series. Talked to his crew chief, Randall Burnett. He said, we were so happy with it last year, obviously, that we left the setup the same. There's minor changes because of the different tire, but for the most part, they kept it the same, and you don't hear that too often. You heard on the radio, a lot of these cars loose. He's a little too tight, and he continues giving up spots back in 15.
Well, that scares me, Mike. The progression of this sport is always tough to keep up with because everybody's always finding something here and there. And man, when you get a year down the road, it is tough to a different tire on the right side, tough to bring the same thing to the racetrack and expect to win.
Here comes Larson trying to make a move on Keselowski. Keselowski still falling back. Started 7th, back to 11th.
Yeah, and you see Kyle Larson up the racetrack right there chasing the top of the rubber, and that'll really get him a good run down the back straightaway.
Look at the momentum, looking to the inside. It's exactly what he used.
Textbook pass right there.
Kyle Larson started 12th. He's now up to 11th. 14 laps complete, all led by Michael McDowell. $18 laps complete at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Again, action off turn number 2. Derek Kraus into Cody Ware. Ware in his 2nd start of the season. Ran at Talladega, where he finished 24th.
Now this is the one that's going to shake the strategy up, Larry. You think?
I think we will see a mixed bag of strategy, especially in the back of the pack, because what this would do is open the door to do something even more creative at the end of stage 1, especially if you're on back in the pack.
A lot of pit crews on the wall.
Yeah, and this is some of the worst time to be the leaders, right? You want to keep that track position, but all of a sudden everybody starts to get a step up on you on the strategy.
Here they come. It's those drivers that were needing adjustments.
Yeah.
Need no more. Here comes Keselowski, Busch.
Drivers from 13th on back coming to pit road. All the way around. 4 tires, fuel, and handling adjustments as needed. So the first 12 did not stop here at lap 19, and stage 1 is only 45 laps long. Next weekend is Super Saturday on Fox. First, it's Phillies Mets from London, followed by the Belmont Stakes live from Saratoga, and then in prime time, Dodgers Yankees, all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Jamie.
Well, I'm in the 6th pit box just watching. They're watching their pit stop back because he said he had a loose wheel or something, so they thought it was the left rear. You saw him come in. He hit it again right there, and I asked him after that. He said it was tight, but Brad just came on the radio and said whatever it was, whatever you guys just did, it fixed the problem.
Thanks, Jamie. The other issue on pit road, Ricky Stenhouse, too fast entering. He will restart at the rear. Everybody on the lead lap except Cody Ware, who is 1 lap down. 21 complete. Michael McDowell again choosing the outside. Christopher Bell had a good restart last time, but could not take the lead away from McDowell. Back to green.
You see Bell get a good entry to the middle of the corner, and he just slipped up a little in the middle of the corner, but a much better start by Michael McDowell as Bell falls right in behind him to fill that gap.
Byron 3 wide to the bottom. And that resolves to 2 wide with he and Ty Gibbs now.
You can definitely tell with every restart comes more confidence with these drivers.
Well, they know the grip level now.
Yeah.
They know what their car's doing. They know what to expect. On that first start, you know, we didn't see as much aggression as we're seeing right now, but they all know what they have underneath them as far as the car goes.
So the first 12 at the caution flag did not stop, along with 5 other drivers. So the first driver who's been to pit road now is Todd Gilliland, who stopped at lap 5 but did not pit under this caution. He's in 18th.
Yeah, you know they're going to be coming. You can see him back there. 3 wide, pushing and shoving. Those tires are going to be worth something here.
Logano inside of Bubba Wallace. That's for 9th.
Yeah, and just for reference right there, Michael McDowell ran 1/1,000th of a second slower than he did his fastest lap of the race. So the speed in the racetrack and the refire on the tires is still pretty good.
I am very impressed with Michael McDowell and company on the 34 car.
He's now led more laps at Gateway than any other track in his career.
We knew that they had speed in their race car. They proved that in qualifying, right? In qualifying on Saturday. They've got the speed, got trouble. Josh Berry slowed down the front stretch.
And Berry keeps rolling, but was off pace there momentarily.
Way off the pace. I don't know if he got in the wall. I have to go back and take a look at it.
Yeah, real easy to get tight off of turn 4, especially if you're behind 2 cars and have to lift, and then it looks like you're down 2 cylinders because you're not in the throttle in the middle of the corner and they all just swarm you.
Here's some Bubba Wallace radio.
Yeah, you see me hanging throttle on exit of 2. I mean, all 4 corners of the car need grip, of course. But just the exit and entry, the extremities just don't have nothing to lean on and attack. So just try to find grip somewhere.
Where are you going to find it?
Well, you're going to have to spread out. It's so hard, especially when you're underneath of a car trying to pass for position or hold your position. Turn 2 is the worst, just trying to maintain that momentum, but that grip and the way that the corner rolls out so fast from underneath you, the back just always feels light.
See Chase Briscoe riding along way up on the outside of the racetrack. Track already widening out quite a bit.
First 9 are single file. Here's your Xfinity fastest lap. Christopher Bell, 33.78. Then Michael McDowell with an 80. Ryan Blaney, an 82. That's 133.2 miles per hour.
Well, yesterday, Mike, the pole speed was 32.46, and Michael McDowell just ran a 34.16. So that becomes a really difficult challenge for these crew chiefs to be able to say, okay, did I actually get my ride heights right? So there's going to be some of these guys that are looking for an adjustment to get the back of that car down, I would say.
Glad I'm not a spotter up on the roof, because there's 3 of those Stewart-Haas cars painted, or rather wrapped identically, but for the roofs. The roof colors are different.
Yeah, and we see Josh Berry. We showed him losing a bunch of spots when it looked like he missed the shift.
It lost it off of the straightaway coming off of turn 4, and they were just blowing his doors off on both sides.
Larry Mack?
Yeah, what I've been doing, we just heard the radio transmission from Bubba Wallace, the 23, to Booty Barker, his crew chief, about getting off the corner. And I've been watching the throttle on him compared to like Michael McDowell and Ryan Blaney in the 12. He's about 2+ seconds later per straightaway getting back full throttle than Blaney and McDowell. The other thing he started playing with was downshifting all the way to 3rd at both ends of the racetrack.
Well, we saw that from the front row cars in qualifying.
Look at the lead. Looking to the outside. Christopher Bell moved up, much like we saw Larson a few laps ago. He's moved up down here in 1 and 2. He's going to have McDowell looking in that mirror, second guessing himself.
Well, McDowell's going to have to move up, or he's going to go right by him. And that's what we talked about earlier. You're going to have to be able to move up the racetrack. Christopher Bell didn't run the top of the racetrack that time like he had the couple laps before that.
I think that's that gamesmanship, right? I think he thought he was going to.
Yep.
Thought better of it. That was a good move. Psyched him out.
Blaney there as well. Those 3 have a second on the 4th place car of Cindric.
Look at the speed difference in the center of the corner. He's got to regroup, make a big run at him again, but that momentum and that run came from running higher in 1 and 2. You're going to see it right here.
32 laps complete outside St. Louis. We're going to go Fox side by side as Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney try to chase down Michael McDowell. "36 laps complete." You've been watching a textbook exercise in catching him is one thing, passing him is another. Both Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney caught Michael McDowell, but they have been unable to get by.
You're right, that's up front, but that race right there, Larson, it took him 5, 6, 7, 8 laps to try to figure out how to get around Bubba Walls. A lot faster, and I think that same scenario applies up here. Problem about the lead is he's got to look over his shoulder and be in a little bit of a protection over the 12 car coming, Kevin.
Yeah.
There it is. Look at the inside. Finally got a run out of him.
Got a good run. The thing I like right now is this racetrack is spreading out, though, and I think from a competitor standpoint, that'll give you options, right? So if the guy's running the bottom, you can run the top. So that cat and mouse game that we talk about some of these weeks is in play.
But you see there, McDowell gave him that inside. Go ahead, big boys. Get down there. It's harder to make that pass when he takes away that exit.
Well, there's only
seven
laps to go, so Michael McDowell is going to be pretty defensive in trying to block that line of Christopher Bell, but Christopher Bell definitely has a faster car right now.
McDowell, as they run right now, 19th in the NASCAR Cup standings. A little more than 50 out of a playoff position.
Well, these 10 points would go a long ways in helping that deficit to win this stage, and that's why he's going to fight Christopher Bell so hard.
Another good run at him.
Oh, he's got a big run this time.
Looking back to the inside. Look at that rear end of McDowell's car bounce. Got that thing rigid.
McDowell will give him the entry to the corner. McDowell slips just a little bit, but is going to have the drive off on the outside.
Sure is. Didn't get clear again in the center of the corner. Let the cycle begin again. Patience. Don't overdrive that corner. Squeeze him up a little bit, putting some pressure on him. I think he's going to get it.
Got him.
got aggressive.
Christopher Bell makes the pass. That might have been a little contact.
That or he was slow on his shift right there. We saw that happen with Josh Berry, and a lot of times when you have this no lift shift scenario, if you miss the shift, the car shuts off. So that's why you'll see some of these guys all of a sudden look like the motor brakes, is because the rev limiter shuts the motor off.
4 to go in stage 1. The shortest by far of the 3 stages here.
Now McDowell got tight in his wake. Here comes Blaney looking to the inside. He was starting to get tight, McDowell that is, and it obviously with the clean air in the lead, he'll be even tighter now.
Yeah, you see Blaney and Christopher Bell able to paint that line right across those curbs on the bottom of the racetrack, and that really gives you a lot of options, because that means your car is turning pretty good, and if you can't run that line with the guy in front of you, you can move up. So there's not going to be a lot of cars that can run both lanes well.
And now those 3 have opened up almost 2 seconds on Austin Cindric in 4th and Denny Hamlin in 5th. There's the gap.
Tell me momentum doesn't mean anything in NASCAR. I mean, they've had speed, Kevin, month and a half, 2 months almost. Just had terrible luck, couldn't get the deal sealed and put together and closed it out. Win last weekend, get that confidence back. Now they're going to get him a stage win.
Bell led the most laps in Charlotte, 90 of them, and was out front when the race was called for rain. And track drying took longer than was expected, and NASCAR pulled the plug.
You see Bell up the racetrack there in 1 and 2. It becomes a little bit harder down here in 3 and 4, because when you get to the middle of the corner, there's a massive bump. The higher you get, right in the middle of the corner right here, the harder it is to get through that bump. So you can't really tell on TV as much as it actually feels like in the car.
You know, just trying to clean some stuff up. Those tires, we saw Bush, Keselowski, Truex, they all pitted on that last caution and only gained 5 spots. Strategy.
Well, they're going to have a window of strategy that's a little bigger than everybody else's. So I'm sure we're going to see some 2-tire stops.
Clint, you're right. None of the drivers that pitted for tires at lap 19 have advanced their position. They're all still behind Todd Gilliland, who came in at lap 5 and did not pit on the most recent caution. They're 17th on back. Final lap, stage 1. There's the green and white checkers, and Christopher Bell now has 3 straight stage wins. He was the winner of stage 2 and 3 last week in Charlotte. This is Bell's 5th stage win of the season. Tonight, the United Football League regular season finale is in prime time. It's the Houston Roughnecks against the Memphis Showboats. 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Had so much fun at the game yesterday, Kevin. What an event.
That was a great event. There are not many places that you go that you will see events supported more than here in St. Louis.
I'm a battle hawk.
I was going to say.
Did we hear that?
Yeah. It was a great atmosphere, great crowd.
Nice crowd on hand there and here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, which has announced a sellout of this event. And boy, that stream of traffic from early morning was nonstop until about 15 minutes ago.
It sure was, Mike. I mean, a steady, you knew. We were down there in a TV compound and looking up there, just a steady stream of cars coming in. Love it.
Yeah, my Uber driver wasn't very good this morning. We were a little late. Pulled up to the stoplight, didn't know where we were going. He was lost.
Mike, don't let him do me that way. It was me.
Yeah, he definitely did not get a tip.
No tip.
No.
All right.
And we were low on gas. I don't know how
we did about run out of gas. Hey, man, you need a little bit of adventure in your life, Kevin.
What we need is we need some cameras because we could put on a great reality show behind the scenes.
Well, here's what we're about to have. Cars will enter the pit lane on the backstretch, come around, hit pit road speed, and we're going to give you a different view of pit stops because both our reporters, Regan Smith and Jamie Little, are up on top of the war wagon.
Well, you heard Travis Peterson tell Mike McDowell and everybody that pit stall is worth 1 second. Let's see if he can get this lead back.
All right, Regan, they're on pit road.
Mike, that's right. They are coming around the pit access road to get to pit road right now. This is the moment where Alan Gustafson will call his driver, Chase Elliott, into the box. They are the final stall on pit road. It should be the easiest stall to get into for him as a driver. They are going to stop him short. You'll see Alan is actually down on the ground level of the pit stall. He plays a big part in this stop. He has to roll the left rear tire. Chase stops short, hits his marks right where they want him to. The 71 of Zane Smith will be coming around him in just a moment. The race car just a little bit loose, but looks like a good stop for Chase Elliott. Jamie?
Denny Hamlin gets the countdown from his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, who is on top of the box. They're stopping him short. Remember the issues he had last week. He has plenty of room out ahead of him. You see those marks with tape right in the box. They roll the tire. They want to be able to get around Michael McDowell, 34, who's just ahead of him. They work on the left side, and he's off. Denny Hamlin struggling with some different issues in the car for the long haul. So they made some adjustments. We'll talk to his crew chief in just a moment.
Regan.
Well, Mike, we're going to come around to the front of the pit box here. Alan Gustafson looked like a good stop for your number 9 guys. They've been the best on pit road this year to the point they did their job right there, it looked like.
Yeah, good stop. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but coming out 11th with 4 tires there. I think 4 or 5 got 2 in front of us, so happy with that. Box worked out well, so yeah, let's go race stage 2.
Looking good so far. Thanks. Jamie?
Listening to the radio for Denny Hamlin, struggling with some things for the long run. He said that he's a little loose off 4, wanted to maybe tighten it up a little bit. What do you do there? What'd you do for adjustments?
Well, I mean, the track's taken everybody by a little bit of a surprise today with the sun being out more than we expected and pace, but it's really just track position. It's kind of same old Gateway. You've seen some cars get pretty desperate there. 2 tires, staying out, that kind of thing. That's going to be the fight all day long and just be all about ending up in the front when it matters.
Thanks, Chris. Mike?
Thanks, Jamie. Todd Gilliland is the race leader. He pitted at lap 5 and stayed on track and did not stop. Take a look at the controlled chaos on pit road on this stop at the end of stage 1. Now Ryan Preece and Martin Truex took only 2 tires. Christopher Bell came in as the leader, and he left as the first driver with 4 new tires and is currently in 9th place behind the cars that did not stop and the pair that took only 2. Here's your pole sitter stop, Michael McDowell. Remember Travis Peterson saying that they had an extra second because of that last pit stall? Well, here's where they used it, making that adjustment.
Yeah, and that's about a second penalty on your pit stops. Just making that adjustment slows that pit stop down about 1 second. So he didn't regain the track position on the guys that he pitted with. But those 8 cars in front of the guys with 4 tires, that's going to be a long stage to get that track position back.
So McDowell came out second among the drivers who took 4 tires, ahead of Cindric, Briscoe, Blaney, Hamlin, and Gibbs. Here's your Credit One biggest movers, Todd Gilliland, because he stopped at lap 5 and has not stopped since. He is plus 34 to where he started this race. Josh Berry did not stop under this caution, so he is plus 26.
Hard to come by on that racetrack. Again, that strategy, when you know when those cautions are coming out 18, 19 laps into a race or a run, that creates that opportunity, and you got to take it. Track position's king.
And those guys pitted earlier, and track position is king. And I think it's going to be interesting to see the fall off in those cars to see if the guys on tires can actually make that ground up.
There's your Toyota Camry XSE leading the field around Worldwide Technology Raceway. So Todd Gilliland did not stop. He is the leader. Kyle Busch, Josh Berry, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse, Derek Kraus did not stop. That's positions 2 through 6. Ryan Preece came in for right sides only. He's still on the left sides on which he started the race. Martin Truex just got 2 tires, but he had taken 4 tires at lap 19 on the second caution of the day.
We used to always say sometimes you have to pit like a loser to win these races, because the guys in the back, they wind up with these scenarios where they give themselves more options, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, Stenhouse trying to overcome that penalty back on his pit stop at lap 19. We are back to green, and Kyle Busch has a chance at the lead against Todd Gilliland.
Well, that wasn't close, Mike. He fired it in there and drove right by Todd Gilliland.
Whoa, this is close.
Wide,
Too close. 9 in the wall.
Yeah.
4 wide.
4 wide, still outside.
Crossover by Cindric. You knew this was going to happen. Tires coming. Those guys are on old tires, slipping and sliding around. Go, Cat, go.
My goodness, what a mess. 3 wide all the way middle of the pack back.
No room for error there.
Back half of this field looks like fans trying to exit the parking lot, just at about 6 times the speed.
Still top 3. Still top 3.
That's Stephen Parsons spotting for Corey LaJoie. You're on top, 2 inside you.
Room in front.
Wow, Gilliland got loose. No tires, or old tires, let's say.
Well, if he can just settle in, and even if he falls back to 12th, 15th, I mean, that's going to be better than the track position that he has, but he's going backwards in a hurry right now.
Eight of the top 10 just ran their fastest lap of the race.
It doesn't surprise me. Clean air is everything. Fall off. Where are they going to fall off? Are they going to have any aid by a caution or anything else? That's going to be the determining factor here. 9's still at it. He bounced off the wall back there in traffic, but Chase is still battling it out pretty good. 3 wide again on the outside.
Yeah, Briscoe's being very aggressive with the 3 wide on the bottom, puts Austin Cindric and those guys on the outside of him in a tough spot to have to work it out. Get into the entry to the corner, and Cindric thinks better of it and Chase Elliott goes by them both.
Is going to be top here again. 23 is on them.
Been a minute since you've seen RCR running 1 and 2. Took advantage of this strategy situation. Kyle Busch, last year's winner, in the lead. Talked about him in pre-race, Kevin. How you going to get it up there? Found it. Now how are we going to keep it up here?
Bob Pockris talked with Kyle earlier this week.
I'm not stressing over the playoffs probably as much as I'm stressing over the 20-year win streak. You know, there's been 36 races between now and then, and there's been how many different winners, you know, so, and us not being one of those is certainly something that we need to get better at. We certainly need to know that we need to get further up front and be able to get ourselves in position to win these races. When you're running up front and you're in position, you have more opportunities to win, and you know, you're going to eventually get yourself in a victory lane.
19 years in a row. He's won one, but it's been a full season since his last victory, which came right here.
Tell you what, Josh Berry's holding a pretty wheel. Great job finding that outside. Obviously, the Christopher Bell and those tires are looking to his inside, but he worked on the outside line down here in 1 and 2, Kevin. Made a huge run on Austin Dillon ahead of him.
Yeah, and the top in 3 and 4, like we talked earlier, it just becomes really difficult over the bump when you're running the top side to make sure that the car is straight. It's harder to carry that momentum up off the corner like you see him able to do right there in the top groove off of turn 2. So hard to get both ends on the top lane to be really good.
It's also hard to keep that 20 car behind you, and that's going to be the case all day long. This 20 car is extremely fast.
But what a strategy move by Richard Childress Racing to put their 2 Chevrolets 1-2.
Play the card,
Austin Dillon.
Play the cards you dealt, baby.
Yep.
Well, we know that Kyle expected this to be a good racetrack for him with all the success that they've had over the last couple years. So we know that car's had the speed. We heard Randall talk about the setup being the same as what they had last year. So obviously with the clean air and everything that they've got right now, that car is showing the speed that they expected it to have.
It'll wake it up, won't it?
But here comes Christopher Bell going after Dillon.
That's the best car. I mean, Christopher Bell has the fastest car. But it's like we talked, when you fire off back deep in that track position, how long does it take to get to where you were before the pit stop?
I agree.
63 laps complete. Pole sitter Michael McDowell led 40. Kyle Busch has now led 9, and he's led twice as many here as any other driver and led in all 3 races here. Christopher Bell just took the lead from Kyle Busch down in turns 1 and 2. He worked his way to the inside of the number 8 and just had tremendous mid-corner speed at both ends of the racetrack.
Well, it's like we talked earlier. He can run the bottom of that racetrack. He gets in traffic, and he just goes the opposite direction of whichever car is in front of him and can make that lane work.
When you say opposite direction, you mean left? It goes left a lot better.
Well, I meant high and low.
Hey.
And it goes left.
Pretty good at turning left.
William Byron working on Justin Haley there for 21st. Let's check with Riga.
Well, Mike, early on, it's been a tale of 2 races for Martin Truex Jr. running in the 4th position right now. Pit stop at lap 19. They took 4 tires so they could take 2 tires on the next stop. But after that first pit stop, it was loose in. It was tight in the middle. It was loose off. No rear grip. On the 2-tire stop, they got some track position. Now he is very happy with the 19 car. Has not said a word and loves what it's doing. And the 4 car of Josh Berry just a little bit loose right now, running in the 5th position. They thought it might take him a few laps to get acclimated to the racetrack, only because he has not run here in a cup car yet, but going well right now. Jamie?
Regan, one of the big surprises down here so far today, Joey Logano in the 22 team back in 17th. Yesterday in practice, we all talked about how fast he was on the long run. Talking to all my crew chiefs in my section this morning, they all said that 22 was the car to beat. He hasn't been able to go anywhere, saying no rear security to move up the track, stuck on the bottom, just can't throttle up off the corner either.
Thanks, Jamie. Kyle Larson there going after the 14 of Chase Briscoe. Denny Hamlin just ahead. Larry, these last 2 stages are nearly equal length, 95 laps and 100 laps, something that we rarely see. How does that change your options for how to play this second stage?
Yeah, Mike, almost every week when I do strategy, it's split the stages in half. I talked to a lot of crew chiefs this week. I talked to a lot of crew chiefs last night, and most of them are saying, and with the fall off that we have, which is not much, they're going to run it just as long as they possibly can. When you look at guys like Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Martin Truex Jr., guys that pitted on lap 19, they can go to about lap 95 to 100. If you pitted on lap 49, you'll be able to run to about lap 125, maybe as far as lap 130.
Yeah, I think they're the ones that, now that this is cycled through with enough green flag laps here, Kyle Busch and company, even RCR as a whole, Austin Dillon, even Berry, it's going to fall right in their lap, Kevin.
I think you're right. And Michael McDowell, our pole sitter right here, it has not fallen into his lap.
Nor Blaney, right? The guys that they're the ones that got hurt the worst there in that.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Sometimes when you're leading or running in the top 10, you think, I got to keep my track position. It's hard to tell yourself that you need to come down pit road. But if those guys pull down pit road, guess what? The rest of the pack's going to stay out. They're going to do the exact opposite of what you do, no matter what you do. But Michael McDowell is struggling now that he's in the middle of the pack. See the back of his car. Sorry, Mike. You see the back of his car really bouncing around, which tells me that it's on those limiters pretty aggressively, or not enough. One or the other.
On this exit of 2, Kevin, is where I notice it the most. Watch this as he gets onto the straight. Watch this thing start bouncing. Boing, boing, boing. Right there on those bumps.
And that's one thing that Bell's car does really well. The ride is just so much better than everybody else's, and they're able to to keep that car more consistent, which a lot of times that's what you want. You want less variance in the back moving around, so that diffuser underneath the car that makes all the downforce doesn't move as much, so it consistently makes more downforce.
And it's faster. Bell is 0.4 of a second faster than the McDowell-Logano battle that we were just watching.
And he's got clean air, but I mean, Kevin's right. It's spot on. That thing does not move around. It is stuck to the ground and making some massive grip. And his lap times prove it. Yeah, he's making grip and able to rotate through the center of the corner. This car is the same way. You know, I think when Truex gets 4 tires on that car, and I think they're going to be in the game too.
Josh Berry in 5th. He's not been to pit road since lap 19. Same as Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, and Ricky Stenhouse.
Josh Berry, this strategy has really paid off for them.
This is the one, he bounced off the wall off of 2, and I don't know if it hurt his toe length or not, but Chase Elliott, he definitely hit the wall pretty hard on the outside of a 4 wide, got pushed in the wall.
Yeah, usually when you hit them kind of square like that and you're not kind of hanging the back out, usually it's okay. These things are pretty durable when you hit them square, but if you definitely catch them with the tire turned or something, it'll tear the car up. It worked out well for Ricky Stenhouse as well on that strategy side of things, and these guys are showing that they had more speed in their cars than we thought they did from the first run when they got into cleaner air.
Yeah, Stenhouse overcoming a penalty for speeding back at lap 19 on pit road. And Austin Cindric, who started this race from the front row, his second front row start here, currently in 8th. Restarted 10th. Ryan Blaney restarted 13th. He's up to 9th.
Yeah, and I think these guys are a little surprised with where their car is. I think today, in listening to that pre-race radio and the lap times and everything from yesterday, we talked about this last night, Clint. We were worried a little bit about the Fords because yesterday morning presented a great scenario for them to make good grip and kind of have those cool temperatures. And now that it's hot and you're depending more on the actual car,
I can promise you they like that clean air a lot better than this dirty air back here in 9th and 10th land. They're struggling.
80 laps complete in St. Louis. Hendrick Motorsports remembering Rick Hendrick's wife's Linda's mother, Helen Myrick, who passed away this week. Rick Hendrick says she was our team's biggest fan. Welcome back to the Enjoy Illinois 300. 86 laps complete. We're at lap 41 of 95 in stage number 2. Christopher Bell with a 3-second lead on the RCR duo of Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon. looking at this 7th place race and got some audio from Chase Elliott in 6th place.
Killed the net. Toes knocked out a mile, so make most of it here.
Well, Clint, you were right. He says the toes knocked out a mile.
I was afraid of it. Watch right here on the outside. Gets squeezed into the wall 4 wide. See Briscoe, McDowell, Blaney, boom, right there. Got squeezed in the wall. Hit it pretty hard with that right rear. Doesn't take much.
Yeah, Blaney and Elliott, they were actually banging fenders before he even got to the wall. I think Blaney probably saw those cars below him before Chase did, and he had nowhere to go.
7th place here.
Hey, he's still holding pretty strong, though. I mean, as bad as he sounded on the radio, don't forget this thing's running 6th.
And up 11 positions from the restart, that being Chase Elliott. Ricky Stenhouse trying to hold on to a top 10 spot here.
Doing a great job. That was a huge turnaround. Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse. How about Austin Dillon looking to the inside of his teammate for 2nd? Look at the outside, rather.
Yeah, Kyle just let it go.
Yep.
That's exactly what he did, isn't it? Pulled down to the bottom, gave him the spot.
Dillon carrying the Rivers Are Life initiative on his car. Real interesting graphic scheme. And he said they were out cleaning up streams this weekend with help from the folks at Dow.
Ducks Unlimited on the side of it.
Long history here at St. Louis. I actually got my first win here with RCR in 2000, as you see Martin Truex go by Kyle
You've seen
Busch.
a lot of things here over the years. You told me about a tornado, about Blue. That's all your first tornado here,
that's true.
Let's check with Larry.
Yeah, I've been watching Denny Hamlin in this 11 car. Right now, he's running back in 10th, right behind Ryan Blaney in that 12. And I had said it earlier, Ryan Blaney is going to 3rd gear at both ends of the racetrack. So earlier, Chris Gabehart said, try going to 3rd gear, both ends. That's what the 12 is doing, and pit stops have started.
Well, these are the cars that were not on pit road since lap 19. Regan?
Mike, it's been playing out perfectly for Austin Dillon, though. Latest update to the team was that it is really good. Don't touch the car. I absolutely love where it is right now. Jamie?
Kyle Busch up front. Got some laps right there, but now he's saying he's lacking side bite. Fell back just a little bit, an air pressure adjustment here. 4 tires, and they'll fill him up for Kyle Busch.
Regan.
Mike, the 4-car Josh Berry doing a great job. As I mentioned earlier, has not seen this place in terms of a cup car until yesterday. Not a lot of laps right now. Still needing some right rear grip early and late in the corners, meaning it's loose. It's sliding those rear tires more than he might like, and getting a lot of updates from the team on what's working line-wise and what isn't.
Ricky Stenhouse and Todd Gilliland also came to pit road here at lap 92. Christopher Bell continues to lead. He's got almost 5 seconds on Martin Truex now and 9 on Chase Elliott. Bell has led more in the last 2 weeks than he did in the first 13 races this year.
Well, speed has definitely not been a problem for that 20 car. They've had some bad lucks, bad pit stops, wrecks, mistakes, but they have had fast race cars all year.
Derek Kraus, Justin Haley out of pit road, and Cody Ware.
And that's the hard part, right? The speed is the hard part. The rest you can work on and overcome. You just got to clean those up. There's a lot of team. Oh no, guys. Number 4, Josh Berry, too fast exiting.
Gosh.
That's the dagger.
That'll be a drive through a pit road speed. Now, for this to work out, that for the cars that just pitted, the track is going to have to stay green until the rest of the field makes their stops. Here's Kyle Larson in.
Yes, sir. That's going to be your first, what I would consider, you know, one of them on the same strategy. That's going to probably draw a lot of cars down, seeing Kyle Larson on pit road.
2 tires.
45 laps to go in this stage.
Comes his teammate. No, excuse me, that's Denny Hamlin on the lead.
And Christopher Bell has come to the track apron and onto the access road that leads to pit road. Hamlin is in. Berry serves his penalty and goes on. Jamie.
So much feedback today on the radios of these drivers wanting more, wanting something different and better out of their race cars. Christopher Bell, on the other hand, he has been happy behind that wheel before the last stop as well. And now he said, I think the balance is where I need to be, and that helps the pit crew. Less time, don't have to make those adjustments. Air pressure adjustment already done before they go over the wall, and 4 tires here.
2 wins in the bank and a quick stop for Bell, who's led 34 laps today. Martin Truex Jr. had taken over the lead, but now he comes to pit road. Regan.
Mike, that's right. The 19 car, Martin Truex Jr., continuing to have a solid day after using strategy early on. Right now, told the team he is just losing too much right rear grip as the run progresses on in the 9 car of Chase Elliott. Loose early on, got better this run, though, and you see 2 tires for him, a strategy play.
Ross Chastain has been in and out. And Austin Cindric takes over the lead from Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that come into this scenario as far as the time. We see some guys putting 2 tires on, some guys putting 4 tires on, but there's also no speed limit on that access road over there. So who's carried the most speed to gain that time that you can gain on the access road and keep it out of the dirt?
I think that's a very valid point, and probably one of the most, driver aided racetracks that you have as on and off of pit road. You can stand to gain a lot of ground behind the wheel. You don't have that option very often at most of the racetracks because of those access roads.
So as we begin to cycle through, Christopher Bell is back on the lead lap. So is Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Larson. From Denny Hamlin on back, drivers that stopped are 1 lap down. Cindric was last on pit road at lap 49, and that is true of all of the top 12 cars right now.
Austin Cindric had a great day today. He's been consistently up in the front. See him leading some laps right now, but that car has been no slouch today. He's kept himself towards the front of the field for the majority of the race.
Ty Gibbs completes his stop for 4 tires and fuel. Bubba Wallace on his way in. And here's Gibbs leaving. Larry, suddenly the top 10 is full of nothing but blue ovals. What's up with that?
Well, I get a feeling, Mike, because they can go about another 20 laps, 20 plus laps. I get a feeling they're on the agenda. Spoke about it earlier. We're going to run this long. And of course, if they can catch a caution, that'll fall right in their wheelhouse.
Jamie?
Yeah, and Austin Cindric leading right now. He's been the best Penske car so far today. They all run different setups, have different strategies. They just came on the radio and told Austin, we can run 25 more laps if we need. It doesn't mean we're going to, but we can.
Cindric's last lap, 34.46. Some of the drivers with fresher tires are almost a second faster than that.
Got McDowell down pit road.
So he is the first of the contending Fords to stop in this cycle. Cindric, Blaney, Priest, Keselowski, Briscoe, Logano, all Fords in the top half dozen. Then Alex Bowman Chevrolet. So we're a little more than midway through this green flag pit stop cycle, the first one we've ever had at this track in its 3-year Cup history.
Boy, they were lined up, weren't they, coming in this place? A lot of tailgating. This Midwestern crowd. Oh, my gosh. Did you see them racks of ribs right there, Kevin?
I did. I'm surprised you weren't stopping there eating.
Oh, yeah. The zoo right down the road, matching fingernails. Wonder how he did on his cheeseburger there.
Packed house, sellout crowd here in St. Louis watching Martin Truex.
Oh, no, left rear tire.
In turn number 2, he slowed dramatically and has made his way around to pit road.
Is that an air pressure situation, Kevin?
It could be. I mean, you're going to want to run it as low as you can, and with the bumps and things that happen, I mean, it just you got to run it right on the edge.
So 11 of the top 12 right now will need a pit stop. Truex was running 11th. And this will cycle Christopher Bell back to the lead. He's the only driver in the top 10 that has made this stop, as you can see on our pylon. Only 14 laps since he was last to pit road. As he goes by Noah Gragson.
You know, to add, if it was a possible air pressure issue, Goodyear says do not go lower than 14 PSI in the left side tires. They go lower. But remember, that was a green flag stop. When you pit under caution or at the start of the race, you have time to kind of scrub your tires in and get the air pressure built up. You make a green flag pit stop, you leave pit road, and you're wide open again.
We've seen that before.
So while we were away, Ryan Preece pitted, so did Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, and Alex Bowman. That leaves 12 drivers.
Oh, got one in the wall. I don't know which one of those SHR cars. Oh, no, it's Josh Berry, Kevin. Is this a brake situation?
Yeah, I'm good.
That'll put us under caution for the 4th time today.
I just saw it in the corner of that last shot. You saw that car shoot up the racetrack. It may look very reminiscent of what that same car did 2 years ago. Let's see.
Top of the screen.
It is. I don't know. Or is that a tire that went down? Or maybe the rotor blew the tire.
Yeah, tough to tell. I mean, the left front tire is definitely flat right there.
Right?
But that car is Fugazi for the rest of the day.
It's what?
What?
Fugazi. Done. Beyond repair. That car was.
Barry on the radio said he blew a tire.
Well, another left side tire, right? Just like that right after the pits, just like the 19. I think he was looking at the rotors as well right there.
So there were 11 cars that had not yet come to pit road, and you see them all but Christopher Bell at the top of the running order, and Austin Dillon all the way down to Corey LaJoie. They are on the lead lap along with many of the quicker cars that had pitted, but from Ricky Stenhouse on back, everybody's 1 lap down as the AMR safety team has arrived on the scene there. So Larry, what are the options for these drivers that have been trapped 1 lap down by this caution?
Well, it's kind of a no-brainer, Mike. Take the wave around. But as you know, the only way the wave around works is if everyone in front of you that's on the lead lap comes to pit road. If one driver stays out, that will hinder you from getting that wave around, because we've got a number of drivers like Bell, like Austin Dillon, like Kyle Busch. They may actually stay out. We're only going to go back racing with roughly about probably 20 laps to go in this stage.
So to your point, everybody down to Hocevar can pit without penalty, because the first car then would be Christopher Bell. If he chooses not to pit, that will trap Gragson, Burton, Hemrick, Smith, and LaJoie.
Man, very unfortunate for Josh Berry. We just talked to him in the pre-race. He was full of optimism, a lot of confidence going into this race. Certainly not what they were looking for. Had been on a heck of a momentum swing there, moving up through the points, getting into that playoff scenario.
So here are the top 6 pitting: Cindric, Blaney, Keselowski, Logano, Briscoe, and Hocevar. And we'll see what happens from there. Regan.
Mike Chase Briscoe, one of those cars catching this good break right here and being able to get some track position in 5th place right now. Sliding the right rear too much all the way around to the corner. He said it feels like it's way yawed out. And the 12 car, Ryan Blaney right now, as well as 2 free. Can't do anything to move around on the racetrack because of the looseness. Told him if it's a little bit tight, I can do more with the car than if it's loose. Jamie?
Brad Keselowski in the 6th, little tight in traffic, but said the car really came to him on the long run. Liked their pace there, 4 tires here. The 2 of Austin Cindric led 18 laps there, not waiting on fuel, 4 tires.
Kyle Busch, the first one off pit road. Now Christopher Bell stays out. That means the cars behind him will not be able to take the wave around. Next Sunday, we're on Fox. In Sonoma, wine country, California, the Toyota Save Mart 350 pre-race at 3 and the green flag on the newly repaved road course, 3:30 p.m. next Sunday on Fox.
Wine country, baby. Can't wait to get out there. Look at that. Oh, nod to DW boogity, boogity, boogity. It's a cool shirt. I wonder if he got any royalties off of that.
24 laps to go in stage 2. Christopher Bell cycles through to the lead. Bell, Elliott, and Larson did not stop under this caution flag. Here are your today's lap leaders, sponsored by Steel. Michael McDowell. This is now his leadingest racetrack with 40 led today. 34 for Christopher Bell, Austin Cindric 18, Kyle Busch 15, and Todd Gilliland stayed out on the first caution and led 6 laps.
Well, that's been the car to beat all day right there, that 20 car of Christopher Bell.
Kyle Busch, last year's winner, will line up 4th for this restart. Joey Logano, winner of the inaugural race here 2 years ago for the Cup Series, currently in 8th. The free pass goes to Ricky Stenhouse, and now the cars that are ahead of Christopher Bell on the racetrack can wave around past the pace car and pick up the tail end of the field. The pace car slows down to pick up Bell, the race leader.
Well, this is no different than when I used to sit in the car and these scenarios would happen, Clint. I'm a little bit confused with everything that's happening and going on.
Have to see some laps and let it cycle out.
We got some wave arounds. We got some guys that pitted. We got some guys that stayed out. It always takes a few laps to kind of rearrange what this race is, but it has definitely changed the complexion of it.
Well, I could tell you the complexion. There's no blue ovals up front anymore. There's one Lone Wolf Toyota and then 3 Chevrolets. We started the top of this show wondering where Cindric was going to land at the end of this race. Now you got the 9 and the 5. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, 2nd and 3rd.
Alex Bowman working on 5 straight top 10 finishes. That's a career best for him. He's currently 24th. Josh Berry had back-to-back top 10s, but he's just been released from the care center. Denny Hamlin, 4 straight top 5s. Got to get on the go. He's currently 17th. And Brad Keselowski, top 2 in 4 of the last 6. He's currently 6th. Chase Elliott, best average finish this season, 9.6. That will go up where he's running right now in 2nd place.
And it's got a bit toe link, I think. He said he thought he did when he hit the wall off of 2. That car's still extremely fast. Don't count him out. The car right behind him, Kyle Busch. He needs a win. He's hungry. He said he does not want to go 20 years. He wants to keep that streak alive.
Now look at this comparison for Chase Elliott. He only ran 29 races last year, but already he has more wins, almost as many top 5s, and a better average finish than his entire 2023 season.
Yeah, and that average finish leads the whole series. And we've covered Chase pretty well. And when he went to victory lane at Texas, that really kind of set the record straight as to how good their season was going. Alan Gustafson was very clear and made everybody look a little harder into what they had actually been accomplishing. So here he is again, quietly having a great day.
Pretty quiet until you're standing in victory lane with a trophy in your hand.
Back to the front straightaway. 21 to go when they get to the line in stage 2 as we go back to green, and Bell from the outside gets a car length on Elliott.
See that top lane again, just have that momentum down the back straightaway. Christopher Bell able to retain the lead. Chase Elliott goes up the racetrack right to where the rubber has been cleaned off.
See Kyle Larson losing another spot. I don't know that he's exactly happy with the handling on that race car. It looks loose. Looks nervous on the restart.
You got to remember the guys behind him have a little bit fresher tires, but you know, I think it's
4 wide off 2. Big squeeze deep in the field. Wow, these restarts are wild. Still 3 wide here.
Well, it's desperation. Not a lot of passing once they get strung out. These restarts, they're bunched up. Here's your opportunity. Desperation is just going to continue to build.
And it's been Byron and Chastain on the charge. Byron on the bottom, Chastain right up by the wall. Now they battle each other for 19th. Let's go up to 5th place, Kyle Larson, and get some of their strategy.
The 8 is on rates, everybody else is on 4, and they will probably either stay at the stage or they may take rates at the stage. We're basically going to be flip-flop for them on the next stop, and then I think we'll have the advantage for the final stop.
Well, that's when you want it. You want to have that advantage at the final stop because that's when the money's on the line, Clint.
Forward thinking, Cliff Daniels.
you know when you come to this race that you're going to be in the middle of the pack at some particular point. With the way that the strategy cycled through and the way that the cautions have worked out today, you just have to minimize the damage, not tear your car up, and wait until that all cycles your way, if that's your strategy.
Third place here. Larry?
Yeah, let's go back to what Cliff Daniels just told Kyle Larson. Track position seems to be so important, and from all those that pitted at lap 114, they can make it on one more stop to the end of the race. So I think teams, if you stop at the end of the stage, you're guaranteed you're going to have to make 2 stops. If you stay out at the end of the stage, you know you can do this on one more stop. So I think we will see, to Cliff Daniels' point, we will see a mixed bag when this stage ends here in about, 16 laps?
Christopher Bell out in front of Chase Elliott by a 1.5 seconds. Cindric, Bush, and Blaney the top 5 as we take you, Fox, side by side.
I'll remind you in about 5 or 6 laps on your brake fans. Brake fans on, please. Let's get our brake fans on here. Brake fans. Go ahead and get your brake fans on. Brake fans on to help your tightness. Also, managing your brake bias, not getting crazy with front brake. You need to manage our stuff.
Brakes are always a subject of conversation here. Second place, great battle that's been raging on here for the last 4 or 5 laps. Austin Cindric has drawn even with Chase Elliott, but on the inside has not been able to complete the pass.
He's got the advantage with the tires, but struggling to get the pass made. Takes time, Kevin.
Finally.
Yeah, it's just so hard to finish that pass. You have to time it just right off the bottom of the corner to not snap the back out or get in the gas too soon on the other end in 3 and 4 to where the front pushes. Another battle for 5th right here on board the Hunt Brothers Pizza camera with Joey Logano. Clears himself up the racetrack right in front of Kyle Busch. We see how this is all cycled around, and now you see Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric up in the front. We thought Cindric was probably the best Ford, and Logano was struggling while he was in the middle of the pack. Jamie?
Well, we talked a lot about Kyle Larson last Sunday, and he left heartbroken, obviously couldn't do the double, and he posted about it. But on Friday, just like Kyle Larson does, got behind the wheel of a sprint car in Lawrenceburg Speedway. He got the win. He lit up talking about it yesterday. A win helps everything. Optimism is good, and it's back. But right now, they are fading a little bit on those older right side tires.
Larson was on pit road at lap 94 in the same green flag cycle with leader Christopher Bell and third place Chase Elliott. Everybody else in the top 10 came to pit road during the caution for Josh Berry at lap 112. Brad Keselowski completes the pass of Kyle Busch for 6th place.
Yeah, we don't see Kyle fighting too hard right there. I think he realizes that he just needs to maintain what he has until he gets to the end of this stage and try to play this cycle right, to put yourself in position to be on the right strategy, to have the track position at the end of this race.
And Blaney looking to make a pass for third on Elliott. Looking to the inside again here.
Well, stage points at stake here in the next 7 laps or so.
That's why he's going to hold strong on that outside. It's going to be a difficult pass to make. Look at them left rear tires squat down the back straightaway. Low air pressure.
Yeah, and you want to run that air as low as you can. It helps the bumps. It helps the grip.
Helps get that car lower.
So Blaney to third. Toyota leading. Ford second and third. Chevrolet fourth now with Elliott.
There's those downshifts. 1 downshift. 2 downshifts.
Chase Briscoe in 9th. Carson Hocevar right now lined up to get the final stage point here at stage 2.
Hocevar's done a good job. We haven't been talking about accidents or anything happening with him. We know that Carson has a lot of speed in his ability, and I think that is the first step to really making yourself a race winner is finishing the races and putting yourself in position to have solid days in the top 10. And then the next thing you know, they're top 5s, and you learn how to race and you learn how to dial in your car and talk to your team. Just takes time, but Carson Hocevar, he's got the right foot to make the speed in that race car when he needs it.
And that's hard to do. To be patient and disciplined in a car, take what the car is giving you, and if that's a 25th place run, 20th place run, that's hard to swallow as a race car driver. You want to go out there and push harder and try to get in the top 5, top 10s, be in that shot. That's hard to do, sit back there and not get greedy and overstep that line and get yourself in trouble, as you were talking about.
4 to go in the stage. Kevin, at the top of the day, you said this was going to be Joe Gibbs Racing versus Team Penske. Gibbs is leading with Christopher Bell, but 2nd, 3rd, and 5th are the 3 Penske cars that all stopped at lap 114. Bell stopped back at lap 96. So different strategies, same players.
Well, Bell's got the car to overcome whatever strategy's right or wrong. He's been the one that can make up the most ground. I'm not so sure about these Penske cars. I think that if they keep this track position, they can keep themselves in the game. But when they were in the middle of the pack, they were not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's certainly cycled around to their benefit right now. But as we heard Cliff Daniels in that 5 car right there you're looking at talking earlier, it's going to be how it cycles into the at the end of this race, and if you have the track position or not. If you catch the caution just right. Strategy. All those drivers, Kevin, in pre-race were all talking about strategy. They told us it would be all over the place, and here it is. Whoa, hold on to it, Brad. Quite a battle here for these stage points. Closing laps, 2 to go. See if he can make a move here on those closing, trying to take advantage of those cars side by side. Got a big run on Logano.
Now, most of the drivers using 4th and 5th gear. Some were experimenting with 3rd. And if you went down to 3rd gear in every corner here for the entire race, that's 1,000 shifts up and down.
Well, Brad got around to the outside of him. Crafty move there. A lot of shifting though, Mike. Tons of shifting. Look at this. Now he's got Elliott in front of him.
4th place at stake. Oh, no! And Larson's in the wall.
Larson loose under Kyle Busch, got into him. They're both in the wall. Ooh, this ain't going to be good.
And leader Christopher Bell will come to the caution flag and should see the green and white checkers. that will end stage 2. Third time Bell has swept both stages in a race. Let's see what happened here.
Just got loose.
Easy to do. Put the 8 car hard in the wall.
Bush running 7th, Larson running 8th. Both end up in the wall and head for pit road. Tonight, the United Football League regular season finale is in prime time on Fox. It's the Houston Roughnecks against the Memphis Showboats, 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Kyle Busch has taken his car to the garage after this.
Well, you can certainly see him in the wall from that angle, but Kevin, let's back up here down the front straightaway and see the rest of the story.
First DNF of the season for Kyle Busch.
Yeah, you see him come off at turn 2 right here, and I think that they make a little bit of contact right there. Kyle Larson trying to side draft, and then I think Bush is frustrated with that.
See, they hit again.
Squeezes him down the racetrack, and then Larson spins out into the 8, and they both hit the fence. So I think Kyle Busch was frustrated with Larson. You see him way down the racetrack. Let's hear what he said.
I mean, he turned into me. Yeah, he crowded you down. Total idiots.
Well, there's two sides to every story, but that's certainly the one side that we saw.
Yeah, you see that little contact. I think that ticked Kyle off right there, and then right there. Yeah, I think he just got frustrated and got them both wrecked.
Pit road is open. Regan.
Mike, the 9 car, Chase Elliott, that run was getting better compared to the cars around him in terms of speed that he had for the tires that he had. He's been pretty happy with the car all day long. You see Ford tires. Jamie?
Christopher Bell as well. He's been the class of the field today, led 63 laps. Really happy with it. The call was Kansas City Chiefs, so that means he's pitting right sides only.
Christopher Bell leads them off pit road. Now the Team Penske Fords did not stop, and they're poised to restart 1, 2, 3. Penske has had one top 10 finish in the last 6 races, but they have the first 3 positions coming out of this caution flag.
Stage 2 ending with some excitement out there at St. Louis. A little contact between Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. Shannon and Jamie here. Let's take a look at the top 10. Some of the guys a little further back in the top 10 because this race has been all about strategy.
It has been, and strategy equals opportunity for guys that need to have a good run. And if you look at Chase Briscoe, Carson Hocevar, Harrison Burton, Austin Dillon, guys that need to have a good run, you see they've made the right strategy. They've put themselves in a good position. And after that pit stop, all in the top 8 right now. Could be another day for a top 10.
Could be as we send it back to Mike for the start of Stage 3. Enjoy, guys.
Well, thanks, Shannon. Regan Smith is caught up with Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch, unfortunately, out of the race early today, battling for 7th place there with Kyle Larson. Kyle, we saw a little contact off of turn 4 perhaps there, and then down the front straightaway. Looked like maybe you guys just got in and got together. What took place from your perspective?
Yeah, you got a pretty good eye, so I'm sure it's my fault, but hate it for my guys, everybody on the Rebel Camaro. We can't afford days like this, so you know, just hate it for them and trying to race for a playoff spot, and you know, gradually fall in there a little bit, and you know, just yeah, he got loose and wiped us out.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Regan. So let's take a look at today's Credit One Bank ones to watch. Let's start with Clint. Who are you watching?
Oh, you're going to... I'm going with Penske. The whole Penske organization. It's their day. Anybody in a Penske car, that's my pick.
What a cop-out that is. I'm going with the fastest car, the 20 car of Christopher Bell. He's had the dominant car today, and he's going to beat all 3 of your cars.
I'm watching Stuart Haas after the news of the week. How would they fare this week? Boy, Chase Briscoe's giving it his all. All those fellows auditioning for a job, best way to do that's with a win or a top 5 finish.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
starting to worry about you, Mike. Following suit with Clint. Taking a whole team.
You could have had a whole team.
You guys can have a whole team. I don't need one.
Those were your Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Mr. Obvious over here.
Have a nice trip. Yes.
I mean, the question is, who do you think is going to win?
The question is your guy going to be able to get back up in that clean air?
A lot of
he's
cars.
been able to pass a lot of cars, but he's as mired back in traffic as he's been in this race so far.
And only 2 tires.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Kyle Busch went to the garage. Kyle Larson came into the pits for tires and adjustments. He is still on the lead lap in 29th. Derek Kraus got the free pass. So we will restart with 32 cars on the lead lap. Ty Gibbs in the back. He was too fast on pit road. 3 wide coming down to turn 1. Hey, watch that Briscoe.
4 wide.
Comes Cindric, turned down off that top. Blaney had to lift just a little bit. Austin Cindric, fantastic day for this 2 car. Fantastic weekend, mind you. Good qualifying session. Big turnaround for them and their team. And here's the 20 car. That's that traffic we're talking about. We know he has the speed. Keep the fenders on this thing. Be patient.
Love what he's doing there on the inside. I mean, 12 wheels corner better than 4.
Well, Christopher Bell's car has just been so good on the bottom of the racetrack, and he can carry just more speed than everybody else through the middle of the corner, and puts him in a position to be able to just
wow, look at
get
this.
position beside the guys.
Woo. That was a hole that closed up. Chase Elliott kind of wise to pedal it there. Non-stop here from midfield on back.
Like Gilliland got in trouble getting into turn 3 and really stacked them up, man. They're 3 wide all over the place.
That's 14 cars fighting for 20th spot.
Huge run. There's Bell. Here he comes again. Way down low on the racetrack down the front stretch.
For a minute there, Chastain didn't want to let him have the bottom, but Bell was not to be denied.
Well, you know, anytime you're around that 1 car, it's going to be hard to handle, hard to pass.
Don't ever doubt my picks, Clint.
I gave you that pick.
Ty Gibbs from the back trying to overcome a speeding penalty with Nemechek. Bowman on the outside.
Don't forget my picks running 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's because you had first pick.
Wow, look at this. More 3 wide.
Contact.
Got loose underneath of him.
Harrison Burton doing a nice job there in 12th, but here comes Keselowski.
Taking advantage of the situation, right? A little bit of strategy call here. Keep up there in clean air. Didn't come in pit. There's several of those guys up there. That's why Bell and all these guys are back. Trying to claw back up to the front, getting his clean air. Run down these Penske cars. Running 1, 2, 3, Kevin.
Well, the guy that we saw go by right there in the 51 car, Justin Haley, just went by. Yep. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Ty Gibbs underneath of Daniel Suarez.
Here's a hammer, Clint. You want to pound that nail just a little harder?
I have to do it quick, I'm afraid.
better get going pretty quick because it's a coming.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin just took 5th from Briscoe.
Day is kind of unraveled. You saw McDowell right there. Definitely unraveled for them after their pole. Clear back in 30th place now.
They must have had a tough pit stop, Clint, because they came out at the tail end of the field.
Well, it's just, again, it's just kind of unraveled. They did come in and top off, as Larry told us in our ear, but lost a lot of track position. Maybe, just maybe, they can catch a timely caution here, play back in their favor.
All right, Jamie, Christopher Bell in 8th.
Yes, his crew chief Adam Stevens opted to take right sides only, but he came on the radio and he told his driver, all those guys ahead of us are going to have to wait for 2 cans of fuel on the final stop of the race. We don't. We only have to take 1, so let's make hay while we got it.
Here's one, Denny Hamlin. I don't think we've said Denny Hamlin all day long. Look at this experience of Denny Hamlin. Look over your shoulder to the end of this race, running 5th.
And look who he's chasing. Carson Hocevar in 4th. Great run for the rookie here.
Yeah, we documented his patience and how well he's been doing of taking care of his race cars. And now that just that natural ability and speed and all the things that come with keeping that car rolling and week to week learning have put him in the top 5. So, but back to Denny Hamlin, he has definitely been quiet today, Clint. But it's getting towards the end of the race, and the pay window is not far from opening.
4th, 5th, and 6th here. Hocevar, Hamlin, Briscoe.
Austin Dillon's had a great day. Ever since they got that track position with this 3 car, he's able to hold on to it, maintain that. They've made some good strategy calls. Things have went their way. Look at that. Got his high, started 33rd. That was bad. Got in that top 10. Can he stay there? It'd be a good day for the 3 car.
157 complete, 83 laps to go. How about a Sunday? St. Louis, crank it up.
Door, still there. Clear. Go back and look, but just tell him, get back in his rhythm. Lost 3/10 there that last lap.
And that's our Fox Emmy Award-winning audio department bringing you Crank It Up as you saw Christopher Bell take 6th from Chase Briscoe. Austin Cindric out in front of teammate Ryan Blaney by 0.7 of a second with 80 laps to go.
it's unbelievable to me, really, that we went from forever to forward to for sale in 6 months. And it's just, I don't even know how you could possibly imagine sitting here today and thinking 6 months later that Stewart-Haas Racing is going to announce that they're basically folding. And it's a full-time job. It's a 24/7 job. And it's not a knock on owners. Gene and Tony were great to me, but they're kind of hands-off owners and have people in place to do their jobs. And I think in today's day and age, you have to have people that are involved with the authority to do what they need to do with the people and the things inside of the company to make it run properly. And it's tough to see. I mean, there's a lot of people who put a lot of time and effort into that organization, and the organization did a lot for me personally.
Catch a new episode of Happy Hour every Tuesday and Thursday, presented by NASCAR on Fox. Currently, the Austin Cindric out in front by 0.7 of a second over Ryan Blaney. There's the leading Stewart-Haas car, which is Chase Briscoe in 7th. They also have Ryan Preece in 20th, Noah Gragson 21st, and Josh Berry, first car out of the race after cutting down a left front tire. Well, welcome back to St. Louis. We've got a guest.
Look what we got.
What's up, guys?
Rajai walked in the door.
Yeah, definitely. Just I love to come to the Cup races and just stay after and learn a little bit. We ran the truck race last night and
how'd it go?
Was 8th there before the green flag stopped and the caution came out and we got stuck a lap down. So still sitting 6th in points and ready to go playoff race in a couple weeks. Team 8.
Yeah, I know. How about that?
Oh man.
That's
going to make things more entertaining. I promise you. The debrief and the meetings will be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you and Patty.
I'm going to need some help, bud.
So Raja, Clint is going to run the truck race at Nashville. What kind of advice do you have for this young fella here?
Advice.
Well, when was the last time you ran there? I was probably like 10. So.
I don't know if that's going to cut it. You may not have been in existence yet.
What was that, like 6 years ago?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Starting to heat up here with teammates. Who you got your eye on watching this? You've been up here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, similar to how the race was yesterday, wherever you cycle out after the pit stops is where you run until the next yellow. So I'm looking at the 6, the 9 car, those guys that were the next cars that pitted at the caution. Obviously, the 20's the fastest in the field, but I'm looking at the 9 car for sure.
Who's the fastest?
20 car.
Oh, okay.
What's the only 2 cars in the 33-second bracket right there? Can you see that?
Clean air, man.
I know he can't see it. Can you see that right there with those lap times? Those are the only 2 in 33s.
Never ends.
Yep. Everybody else 34s. Those are Penske cars.
Oh, wow. Look at this. The first time Christopher Bell's been passed all day, I believe, and it was by his teammate, Denny Hamlin, on the outside. Bell comes right back after him.
Bell's making that pass. He's rolling back to the front. He's slowly but surely here. He is getting bigger in the rear view, but keep going. You see Carson Hocevar. We've sold it. Mike, you've been all over it. I am very impressed with the job that Carson Hocevar in that 77 has done today. This is a great run for them. 69 laps to go.
Larry Mack?
Every year headed into a Cup season, people will ask me, what are my expectations about a rookie? And I always say, run all the laps. Yeah, he was caught up in a wreck early at Daytona, but in the 13 races since then, he has finished on the lead lap 9 times and completed all but 8 laps of competition. That's what a rookie needs to be doing, especially in the first half of his rookie season.
Wow, absolutely. Let's not overlook our leader, Austin Cindric. Best finish of the year for Cindric, 4th at Atlanta. That is his only top 10 finish. And as we are now, and I admit it's early, we're now right in the middle of silly season. His name has come up, and he doesn't want to be part of that conversation.
I ain't worried about him, but I'm worried about 18th in points if I'm him. This win right here would fix everything if that 2 car is sitting in victory lane at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can definitely take your name out of the conversations of whether you're in or out by putting yourself into victory lane.
1 top 10 for Team Penske in the last 6 races. They've been fast in qualifying. They've been fast on the racetrack. Don't have the finishes to show for it. And today is the most laps Austin Cindric has ever led in a Cup race. He's now been out front for 48 of them.
Hey, I know the 20 car's coming. You see a pass. Oh, Hocevar's going to pit right here.
Hocevar
pitting from
was
fourth.
not off sequence with everybody else. So we'll have to puzzle this one out. Regan?
Well, Mike, we'll have to double check on this earliness of this pit stop, but I do know with the car right now, early in the race, he was extremely tight. Felt like the left front was way up in the air. They got that track position, got towards the front, and here lately, it has been good. He likes the way it's driving right now, doing a fantastic job today.
So, Larry, are they inside their window to make it to the finish?
They can definitely make it to the finish. Now, remember, he's one of the ones that stayed out on that last pit caution, so he was going to have to pit in about 10 laps if he was going to run the fuel all the way. So I won't say it's a little early, but I won't say it's unscheduled by no means.
Okay. Well, it also gives you the benefit of, you know, taking advantage of their back half of their runs and being on the front side of the goodie in your tires. That's a good move. I like that move.
And it's just, you know, the tires get to a certain point and they don't fall off. We've seen our leader who's in clean air. He's run 33 nines to 34 flats as we see Ryan Blaney in.
I'd say that he's going to draw them all in just because of that very fact.
Yeah, Blaney pits from second place.
And that's going to force Cindric's hand. They're going to pit next time.
Regan.
As soon as Carson Hocevar hit pit road and they saw it on the TVs, the 12 crew of Ryan Blaney immediately jumped up, jumped on the wall, got the call that they were going to come the next time by. He's been too tight this run off of turn 4, which is a good thing. He's been loose all day long. They have made gains on the car and continue to get better for him.
Well, and here comes Austin Cindric with him.
Well, I'm going to say it, Clint, you were right. But I think he had to pit because of the fact that Ryan Blaney's he's still going to have a lap on him.
Forced
so
his hand.
He very much could leapfrog.
Those two cars had
Cindric.
such a massive lead. It was down to them. As soon as Blaney pitted, he had to. Now it's here comes Hamlin, right? He was the next car in line. They're all coming. It's going to happen.
Jamie.
Ryan Wilson, crew chief for Austin Cindric, said they are feeling the heat. They've got to get a win for the entire company. Today, they have been so good. He brings it down pit road for Austin Cindric. They fill him up, put some fuel and tires in that car.
Now that would have turned the lead over to Joey Logano. Christopher Bell just went by Logano, who is headed for pit road now. Bell stays out on the racetrack.
Now he wants to go out, and that crew chief wants to see what that car will do in clean air. If he can run the big lap times like he has been, that'll afford them the opportunity to stay out maybe a little bit longer.
That's his defense. Regan?
Well, Mike, the 3 car of Austin Dillon, good early on in the race, but it started to go too loose for him. He's struggling to keep the right rear grip the way that he wants to on the 3 car. Jamie?
Struggling with rear grip throughout the race for Joey Logano, too. The car has gotten a little bit better as the race has gone on so fast yesterday. Had to pit here. They'll have to wait on fuel. They need to make it 62 laps to the end of this race.
William Byron in, Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe, all making stops under green.
Exactly what we were talking about, Kevin. Look at this 12 car. Blaney, he passed Cindric.
Yeah, and I think he caught the 2 bunch off guard. I think pitting that lap early did what they needed to do to get him the track position around Austin Cindric. But that's our leader right there, Christopher Bell. He has not pitted yet.
That's right. A lot of gains and losses. We talked about the pit road entry and exit at this racetrack being unique. You have to hit all your marks there. There's a lot of time, a lot of ground to be made up on those entry and exits of this pit road.
Here's some audio from Ryan Blaney.
Need to get me up in front of him, so you need to figure that out.
77 pitted here.
All right, bring him this time. Bring him.
Too late. I couldn't bring him that time. Already passed his mark when you said it, Johnson. Time.
Tim Fita with a spotter for Blaney.
Yeah, and they were actually trying to get him to pit the lap before, it sounds like, and they were already past pit road. But that was definitely what Jonathan wanted to do, is make that call as late as possible so that everybody couldn't follow him. But that one lap, he was able to leapfrog, and their lap times right now, Ryan Blaney's lap times, let's see, 33.60, Clint. So he's making up 0.4 of a second, half a second a lap compared to the leader.
So the only drivers left in the top 20 right now who will be in need of a pit stop are Daniel Hemrick and Corey LaJoie. Everybody else can go away, as they were last on pit road at lap 144. Harrison Burton in. And we currently have 22 cars on the lead lap, Cindric being the last of those, and Blaney just off the bottom of your scoreboard. Corey LaJoie was last on pit road at lap 114. Same for Daniel Hemrick. Almost 70 laps ago. John Hunter Nemechek 18th among that big group of cars that pitted under caution at the end of stage 2, including most of those in the top 20. Not sure how long. Christopher Bell and the rest of these drivers that stopped at the stage break, they've been out for 40 laps. How long until they pit? We're going to take you Fox side by side, so if they pit, you won't miss it. Worldwide Technology Raceway did a great job this weekend of entertaining the fans. And I'm not just talking about the race. Driver appearances and concerts pre and post race. A lot for folks to do who showed up early today. And boy, did they. They're watching Christopher Bell put on a clinic right now. 6 seconds up on Brad Keselowski. But one more pit stop in the offing. And of course, the later they stop, the less time they'll be stopped, the less fuel they'll need to get to the finish.
Well, it's going to be interesting as it all shakes out here towards the end of the race to see what the distance is going to be when he hits pit road.
So looking at Bell on the racetrack, the only other cars in the same straightaway as him are Cindric and Blaney, who have made their pit stops and right now are as fast as Christopher Bell. So once he catches that next big group of cars, would that be the time you'd want to pit?
Well, what's going to happen is Blaney and Cindric are going to catch the cars that are in front of them, and that's going to slow their progress down. And I think Christopher Bell will make up that distance on the racetrack when they catch those cars in front of them.
Larry?
Yeah, when you've got a lead like he has, that gives Adam Stevens, his crew chief, it gives him a bigger playbook right now. So I think with the lap times he's running right now, he's really not giving up a whole lot. And the further he goes, if a caution comes out, that's going to force some of those that's already pitted earlier. They're going to have more laps on their tires. They'll either be forced to pit or they'll stay out on older tires. So I like the fact that they're running this long.
The gambles are on. Look at how high he is, Kevin.
Yeah, they definitely have pushed that groove up probably a whole nother lane since the race has started, and it just enables you to make the arc of that corner a little bit bigger, be able to roll that center speed, but most importantly, make the straightaway speed as good as possible.
Now he's going to have to deal with Denny Hamlin. Hamlin's made his stop, is faster than Bell, and is catching him. But if Hamlin passes Bell, that would just be to get back on the lead lap. It would not be for position. Hamlin's in 21st.
Yeah, and that's where those cars are. Blaney is 19th, Cindric is 20th, and Hamlin is 21st. Joey Logano 22nd. So, you know, those are the guys that have kind of played their cards already to see how this is all going to cycle out at the end.
William Byron right in the middle of that huge group of cars, one lap down. He is in 25th. Word is they're getting ready in the number 20 pit. And the signboard is out for Christopher Bell.
And he's coming. There he is, down to the access. No mistakes. Nope. Do not speed.
Ross Chastain in and out after taking just right side tires. And here comes Bell. They'll make this stop with 46 laps to go. Jamie?
This pit crew won the pit stop challenge just a couple of weeks ago. They're on the wall and ready as their driver makes the long trek down pit road. Remember, they told him he didn't have to wait on fuel here, just one can. Christopher, like he's been saying all day, the car is good. No need for adjustments, Regan.
Tyler Reddick in the 45 car, been battling the handle and back and forth a little bit all day long. Right now he needs to be freer, but it builds too loose on entry and exit.
Both those Toyotas are away. Take a look at pit road. Note how it's 3 feet wider than it was last year. They took out the steel guardrail on the inside of that wall, added safer barrier to the outside of it, but sure makes getting in and out of the pits easier. Brad Keselowski takes over the lead, 7 seconds up on Justin Haley, who continues to impress.
Well, there you see it. There, the 20 car goes by. Brad Keselowski still in the lead, hasn't cycled, but you saw the first car you saw was Blaney, that 12 car. Now he's got to go run them guys down. They're talking about Christopher Bell. But the caution comes out. This guy right here is in the catbird seat.
Jamie?
And he is in the catbird seat, as you just mentioned, for Brad Keselowski. They actually called him to pit road when Christopher Bell was on pit road. Brad waved it off and said, no, I want to stay out longer. How long can we go? They said you got about 20 more laps.
I like that. You're not going to outrun them. So let's see, try to give Luck a chance to operate here. I like this. And that's a driver and an owner.
Corey LaJoie, Justin Haley on pit road, and Ricky Stenhouse making
what
he
driver
hopes will
about
be
cost the owner
stop.
some money right there.
Got a little bit loose on the entry there, but you know, I like the aggression. Brad's always very in tune with what's going on, and I think that's important from a driver standpoint to understand what the strategy could be, where you're playing, so that you can help think that out, because you know your car and how it's driving, and whether you need to come in and sooner or later to make your car have a chance to win.
And that's years of experience, both behind the wheel and as an owner standpoint. I couldn't do that. When I was a driver, I was a one-track mind. You tell me when I pit, and I'll tell you if this thing needs to be tightened up or loosened up, but I can't tell you strategy too. I can't do my job and your job, but that one can.
Well, and he's got a win in the bank, so he's playing with house money, but also, I think it's a Midwestern thing. Brad Keselowski, Rusty Wallace, Alan Kulwicki, they all called a lot of their own shots from the seat of the race car, and quite successfully.
Now, Matt McCall's plenty capable. Don't get me wrong. I was not showing disrespect there. No. Matt McCall's plenty capable of getting a job done, but that just speaks volume of the knowledge and the years of wisdom behind Brad Keselowski. And I think that even further, you know, got further down the road as he become an owner. Raja, can you tell him how to when we need to pit? Or
well, here's the thing, right? The 11 truck started our pit cycle yesterday, and to be on the front side of it, and I feel like you can't be stuck in the middle of being either the first guy or the last guy to start the cycle. So you saw it various different ways that went about it yesterday. My teammate Chase Purdy, they ran long, and the yellow felt good for them. So you really, as a driver, want to be on offense to be either the very first or two in the cycle, or be hoping for a caution, because you don't want to be stuck a lap down like I got stuck yesterday.
I always wanted to be on offense. I wanted 4 tires all the time, and sometimes that was a detriment.
Definitely. Well, Keselowski's teammate Chris Buescher just made his pit stop. He was running down in the 16 to 20 position range.
Let's go back to the cars that did pit, right? There's still a lot of cars out here that haven't pitted. But that 12, he's running and hiding, trying to run from the 20 car. The 20 car is definitely catching those guys. Now the 12's in traffic. That whole conversation around that group is getting tighter and tighter. 12's got to get through this traffic very good. The 20 car is getting bigger.
The first 9 cars on your scoreboard will need a stop before we're done. Blaney and Cindric and Bell are the first 3 that can go the distance from here.
Clint, that was a good point you made there about no mistakes. The green flag stops here are so interesting because the pit road speed line isn't all the way to the front stretch, and you commit on the back stretch. So you have a pretty dirty road there to get to the line, and it's interesting as a driver how much faster or slower you can get to the line. So it's so important, like you said, to not speed, because the juice isn't worth the squeeze to come back down.
All right, Todd Gilliland's coming in. He's going to give up a top 5 spot to do so.
Boy, if this call pays off here, it'd be huge. These guys have been on fire. Things have been rolling their way lately. Just might happen.
Well, Brad, just like you touched on earlier, I mean, he's just so in tune with every element of that race team. And the effect that he has had on RFK has been, I don't even know how you can measure it, because of his experience and leadership and just his ability to drive the car and relate to what they need to do to fix it. I mean, it has made them a contender week in and week out. Now, I think this is definitely a pretty big gamble, but it could play out if the caution comes out. Larry?
Yeah, Kevin, Clint, Mike, Matt McCall, his crew chief, just told him, give me 10 or 12 more and get all you can get.
Wow. All right.
That's as high as I've ever seen the groove pushed up through the middle of 1 and 2 here.
Now Tyler Reddick is trying to get back on the lead lap here, and will do so on much fresher tires. He came in 10 laps ago. Christopher Bell was 6 seconds behind Blaney when he came in. And when Bell got back on track, he was 7 seconds behind Blaney and has gained 3.5 of those back. So wow. Bell is on the move, but he's in 12th place, and he's 27 seconds off the lead.
That's the point I was trying to make earlier. He's got to go. Blaney's trying to run and hide. He was mired in traffic, did pretty good getting through them, but now Bell's in the middle of all that mess. Got to try to take advantage of that if you're Ryan Blaney. You know these cars in front of you have to pit, right? All these guys still have to pit.
This is where that part of Bell's car being able to run high or low, I feel like he can lose less time in traffic than anybody on the racetrack today because of the ability that he has to run different lanes.
Look at some of the drivers up there in the top 8 in the conversation of trying to get their first win of the season. Gibbs, Wallace, Blaney, McDowell, Cindric, all hungry.
There you can see Blaney and Bell. That's the conversation we're talking about, folks. The caution doesn't come out. That's your race. Those guys are going to have to pit up there. Keselowski all the way to, it's Bubba Wallace in 5th.
So Blaney in 6th, Cindric in 8th, and Bell in 9th are the first 3 cars that have made their final stop.
Yeah, right now we have, let's see, we've got 16 cars on the lead lap with Brad staying out there and doing what he's doing. So I would think that they're just going to put 2 tires on this car and roll the dice, don't you think, Clint?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Short as possible. Spend as least amount of time on pit road. Especially with only 32 laps to go, whenever they decide to pit.
I don't know, Larry, with the 12 and the 20 coming, are 2 tires going to be enough for Keselowski to have a chance?
I think their bed's made, Mike. They've got to make this stop just as short as possible. Honestly, probably 2 tires. 2 tires, fuel only 4 tires. Not going to be a race-winning move. It's just going to be getting as good a finish as you can.
Minimize the damage. They're not out of it yet. Caution comes out right here. Don't you have a trend or anything, Larry? This is when you always come out and tell us a trend.
I'll give you the trend when the trend's ready, Clint.
Saw Chase Elliott making a stop. John Hunter Nemechek in. 31 to go.
He's rolling, Kevin. That's your guy.
Well, Ryan Blaney wants him to put up Austin Cindric to put up as big a fight as possible to try to make as much time as taken away from him, but it didn't work out. He went right on by.
And you can see there's the 12 car, the next one. He's having trouble getting around Bubba Wallace, slowing him up big time. 20 is gaining on him very fast.
Now Wallace in 4th place is going to need to stop.
Here comes Brad on pit road.
Giving up the lead. Didn't work out for him.
He'll have 29 laps to go from the pit stop.
And Blaney's still having trouble with Bubba. Cannot get around him. This is exactly what Christopher Bell wants. Watch, there he is. He's there, guys.
Wallace and Blaney for 4th. Bell looking on. Kyle Larson has taken over the lead of this race. Here's some Blaney radio.
That's a 20 behind us now. 1.5 back. For the win? Yeah, should be. Yep.
For the win, he asked?
For the win.
Yeah, absolutely,
yes.
For the win. That's what I've been trying to tell you. And look how much easier he got around Bubba Wallace. It took Blaney 5 laps to get around him. Bell did it in 1 corner. He's there.
But we look at Christopher Bell's car this time. It's got 4 tires on it. The whole last run, he only had 2 tires, and you saw how fast he was there. But we'll see.
Ty Gibbs pits from 2nd place.
Blaney out of the group.
Oh, 2 tires, and he almost took his front tire changer with him, exiting the pit stall. The changer was up and over the hood of that car, landed on his feet. He's okay. Whew. That was way too close. Larson the leader, Bell and Blaney 13 seconds back of the lead, but Larson will need a pit stop.
Well, this is what we've talked about all day. It's hard to finish that pass on the exit of the corner and roll the speed into the throttle like you need to, because you need the whole racetrack to finish that pass. So Ryan Blaney, he knows what this is for, and this is for most likely the race win.
He's trying to find that grip on the outside, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold it.
There's the Ty Gibbs spot, and
oh, yeah,
wow.
That's what you're talking about. I see it. Still holding strong through 3 and 4. He's not able to run on the bottom there and take the air off of him and start that game. The aero block, if you will. That's basically a teammate of Burton.
Yeah.
Letting him go.
Let's see if Harrison Burton can manage Christopher Bell the way Bubba Wallace tried to manage the blue oval of Ryan Blaney getting by him. Nope.
He definitely took his bottom line away. But no, he didn't slow him down much. That 20 car is so fast through the center of the corner. If Blaney's able to hold him off, this will be a miracle.
Well, you see Blaney right up at the top, and the only thing that worries me is about kind of jumping that cushion and getting over that rubbered up groove. As long as he does it right here and is able to make that momentum and stay in the groove and keep that momentum up off the corner, it's going to be a tough pass for Bell. But I feel like this is the end that's a little more difficult for Blaney here in 3 and 4.
Totally agree with you. You can see how that widened out. Blaney way up on the outside. You also see some lappers coming. See those 2 cars in front of them. That's Bell's opportunity. Time these lappers well. You time it, pounce on him. He'll get aero tight behind him.
And Kyle Larson comes to pit road. So this now is officially the battle for the lead.
This is always so nerve-wracking if you're the leader trying to hold somebody off, especially at a deficit. But for 24 laps, my gosh, Kevin, that's a long time.
Well, right now those lap cars are working to Ryan Blaney's benefit because they're in the bottom lane, and that's taking that groove and making that air a little bit dirtier for Ryan, for Christopher to have to navigate the bottom of the racetrack.
Ryan Preece keeps it right down on the bottom of the racetrack.
But every lap that clicks away, Clint, is an opportunity that's gone by.
Preece has already one lap down. Now I see he stayed on that outside. Blaney's not going to be as good on the bottom. Do not let that 20 car to your outside. Did a good job there. Now Bell's pinned door to door with Preece. That'll help a little.
That's interesting because Preece waved Blaney by to the inside, put a hand out the window to give him that bottom lane. But
I don't know if you saw the emblem on the hood of both of those cars. Maybe that had something to do with it.
I did.
Well, Blaney's done a good job up to this point.
It shows you how difficult it is to pass. I mean, he drove right to his rear bumper. These lap cars, though, this is the opportunity. A lot of racing left at 22 laps to go. Still to the inside.
If he can hold that side draft right there and slow him down, but there's just so much momentum off of that top lane.
Bell keeps grinding away on the inside, but
so hard to hit your marks if you're Ryan Blaney on that outside. I mean, you're flirting with disaster, Kevin. You talked about it. You jumped that cushion. Look at his right side. It's just barely in the gray. Uh-oh, he might be clear. That got too high. Got too high.
He's still going to have a big head of steam.
Stayed in it. Yes, I hear you. So far, so good. Boy, that was close.
Yep, Stevie Reeves, Christopher Bell's spotter, couldn't clear him up in front of Blaney, who comes right back on the top side. What a battle.
And Bell's doing a good job of being patient, right, and being courteous so far. But how many more laps does he have, Kevin, before it's time to get, what do you call it, dirty?
Get dirty. Not yet. I don't think he's going to have to.
He's jumped the cushion again. It's going to happen down here in 3 and 4. He might be clear here. Yep. Crossover move. Here it comes. It's not done yet. Now the 12 car is going to have to get dirty. Going to push him up. You're going to be at a deficit.
Lap car ahead, Suarez, who's a Chevrolet.
He's clear up.
Wow.
How about that? Now he's tight. He's going to have to lift on the exit. You see him crossing over. Look at his hands busy.
If Bell can get alongside and try to use Suarez as a pick.
It's them lappers. Suarez is vying for position. That's what I was saying. Look at that. Blocked him off. Took air off of him. That thing's going to shoot up the track. Well, fantastic racing out of these leaders. Good show.
That's that cat and mouse game that we talk about. He was not expecting Ryan Blaney to go to the bottom of the racetrack, and you see what it does to the front of the car.
Oh my gosh, guys! I didn't even look.
Here's Christopher Bell's radio.
I'm blowing up. I'm blowing up. Game over.
No way!
Oh my goodness.
One of the greatest battles of the season, and Christopher Bell has to pedal it to try to preserve a finish here.
Could that be an over rev on a downshift?
Well,
could be a lot of things with as many shiftings that's going on.
They are putting these engines through just a brutal usage today with, possibly double downshifting on both ends, but for sure in 1 and 2.
Guys, I was trying to go to this because as I was watching that, I'm looking over. How about this? Mike McDowell's running 4th.
Well,
where did he come from?
I don't even know what to say because I don't know. We were so.
Remember, he was.
Well, still got a pit.
Or does he, Larry? Remember, he stopped on that caution twice, the second time to top off just before we went back to green. Jamie?
The 20 radio listening to him. Adam Stevens talking him through it, asking what lights have come on. He said, you're just going to have to shift less here. Take care of it.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Yes, third gear here. Still there. Clear.
Man, what a heartbreak.
So Bell is going to limp it home. His lap times have fallen off 1 1/4 to Blaney's. Austin Cindric to 2nd. Bell third, and pole sitter Michael McDowell in fourth ahead of Denny Hamlin. Larry?
Yeah, back to Michael McDowell. They came in and topped off Mike, but that would be 93 laps. And I've learned in 24 years of doing this, never say never, but that is a stretch to have to go 93 laps.
Thanks, Larry.
Right on cue.
There he is.
Asked and answered. So Michael McDowell comes on to pit road, giving up a top 5 spot to do so. 14 laps to go here in St. Louis, in case you missed it. Martin Truex Jr. with tire issues, left rear there. Josh Berry lost a left front tire and was the first car out of the race. Christopher Bell, for the 3rd time in his career, wins stages 1 and 2. The Kyle and Kyle show, lap 140. Larson continued. Bush went to the garage after this. Team Penske stayed out at the end of stage 2, and they are now running 1st, 2nd, and 7th with 13 laps to go. McDowell back on track, and he'll be the 2nd car a lap down behind Bubba Wallace.
It shows you how fast and far ahead these leaders were. Bell's still running 3rd down the cylinders. I mean, way off the pace down the straightaways and still holding strong in 3rd. This car might make it to the end and get a top 5 out of this. It'd be huge.
So Ryan Blaney, the leader, is the defending series champion, looking for a needed win here. Austin Cindric, who started outside pole, running 2nd, 2.7 back, has had just 1 top 10 finish this year. Would love to get a win. So Larry, what are the trends?
Clint, I will give it to you now. Now, we've only raced twice here, in 2022 and 23 with the Cup Series. The average of the last caution in both races, it came out at lap 237 with 3 to go in 22 and 23, and in both races obviously had an overtime finish.
Okay.
I think we might have some team orders here. Watch Truex push the 20 down the backstretch. Truex is out of this thing. He is 3 laps down. He's going to help that teammate. That car's going to finish this race. Check this out. Love you. Thank you, buddy. Stay right there. He's going to let him go. He's going to pick him back up down the straightaway. Look how much faster this car is. It's picked up. It was running 39.50 or 35.50. Excuse me, 35.49. Let's see what it runs. 34.91. Pick him up 0.6.
All right, Larry, I'm going to ask you to go to your rule book for this one. I recall back in the Harry Gant days when somebody at Pocono was helped around the track on the last lap to a finish. They passed what was then a new rule. You could get assistance, but not after the white flag waves. I'm wondering what the rule is now with Martin Truex trying to aid Christopher Bell.
Hey, it can't be no rules.
I think he's still under power, so I think it's all bets are off.
Okay.
Exactly. As long as he didn't push him all the way around the racetrack with him being with no power, I think we're good to go.
I mean, check that out. Brad can't even pass him all of a sudden. That is awesome. You don't see that every day. 34.82 now, even faster. They're figuring it out, getting better at it.
Getting the timing better.
Is Martin going to push him past Keselowski for 4th place?
No, I mean, he's going to lose spots. There's no question, but he is, well, he's picked him up 0.6, 0.7 that last lap. I mean, here's Reddick. That's a position as well. But this car, as long as it doesn't, it's going to help Reddick get her. Oh, no. Well, he may have went around. Now he's going to back off and help him. Don't push him too hard. That thing might blow up. Blaney doesn't need anybody to push him.
Nope. Daniel Suarez, last car on the lead lap and just ahead. Wallace and Gregson are battling for 22nd. These are all lead lap cars just in front of Ryan Blaney with 8 to go.
Huge lead. Don't push it. Be patient, driver. 7 to go. 2.2 seconds. Hamlin, what a turnaround.
The last win for Team Penske was back at Martinsville late last fall when Ryan Blaney won to make it into the championship 4 at Phoenix. where he did not win the race but won the NASCAR Cup Championship.
Well, that's what we expect out of this 12 team, and Ryan Blaney is the speed, leading laps. That's what they've consistently done over the last several years, and they have just not been able to do that. But as we've seen with the Fords, they've become better and better each week. The 6 and the 17 have been, kind of the dominant Fords. And you see Joey Logano have a breakout night at the All-Star race, lead all but one lap, and now today we saw 3 Fords start 1, 2, 3, and this car right here of Austin Cindric has been up there in the front all day.
Larry?
Guys, just adding to this Team Penske deal, we've talked about it since the drop of the green flag, track position. And what I see is the 3 Team Penske cars, Blaney, Cindric, and Logano, and I know Joey's back in 7th, they made a less pit stop than anybody else in the field. They only made 3 trips to pit road.
Oh.
Well, we knew that track position would be important. I think that the fall off in the tires today hasn't been as much as what I think a lot of people expected, and they've done a good job, like Larry said, of minimizing the time on pit road to be able to put themselves in position to keep that track position all day.
Now also in the top 10, take a look at 8th, 9th, and 10th place. Austin Dillon having a good day. They got into a different strategy along with Kyle Busch, and it's paid off for Dillon in 8th. We talked about Carson Hocevar. What a great run he's had today in 9th. And Justin Haley going to get a top 10 today. Well done.
Again.
Well, I mean, there's still some laps left here, but Austin Dillon, as soon as everybody pitted and they were able to stay out, the 8 and the 3 were able to stay out there. Austin Dillon, that 3 car, this is a much needed good run for them if they can hold on to it for a top 10.
All right, Austin Cindric with traffic has cut Blaney's lead in half, 1.3 seconds now, as it took Blaney a while to get past Daniel Suarez.
As it should. Be patient, driver. Plenty of time. 3 laps to go. Second lead.
1.1 seconds. Cindric coming hard with 3 to go. Hamlin 5 seconds back. Keselowski 6. Reddick 7. Logano and everybody else 11 or more. There's Austin Dillon. Oh, great day for him as he passes Christopher Bell for 7th place. Corey LaJoie is a lap down in that mix. But fine day for Dillon.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Bring it home, driver. Cindric isn't far behind him. You can see him in the shot. There he is.
Yeah, the 99 car has gone back around Ryan Blaney.
Got his lap.
Whoa, Blaney's out of gas. Something's wrong.
White flag, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, and we've got a new leader.
I think he's out of gas.
And I think he gets to an official race, too. White flag, no caution. Austin Cindric, oh my gosh, what is happening?
That's why Suarez was able to get around Blaney. Something stumbled on the number 12.
How about this?
Austin Cindric rolls into turn number 3 after starting from the outside pole with only 1 top 10 finish this entire season, and he is going to the playoffs. Austin Cindric wins in St. Louis.
Punch the ticket, Austin Cindric. How about that? What a heartbreaker, Ryan Blaney.
You just never know if these races are over until the checkered flag falls. What a heartbreak for
Larry. What could have happened to the 12?
Yeah, Mike, I mean, I'm scrambling because he pitted with 64 laps to go. The fuel window was north of 70, but all of our numbers are always based. Did they get him completely full?
He is coasting to the start-finish line as almost all the lead lap cars are going by him. Here's audio from Ryan Blaney as he crosses the line.
How about a gas? I can't believe we had a gas, man.
Oh, he's going to end up 24th. 24th.
Last car on the lead lap. What a heartbreaker.
Think
for the
back to
series
those
champ.
pit stops. Think back to those pit stops and how far ahead he came out of Austin Cindric.
I don't know that they took it all on purpose, trying to get the track position.
That's right.
Bid him. Hey.
Pitted early.
Well, I chose a Penske car, but I sure didn't see that coming. I didn't know I'd need all 3 of them to get the job done. Wow, Austin Cindric. This is huge for that race team.
The 25-year-old from Mooresville, North Carolina, gets his second career win in his 94th Cup Series start, ending an 85-race winless streak. He's the 9th driver to go to victory lane this season. Finished 4th at Atlanta. 143rd career win for Team Penske in the NASCAR Cup Series. Split among 10 different drivers. Ford takes 2 out of 3 here in St. Louis. Logano, the inaugural. Austin Cindric today. Wow. His dad runs Team Penske. His granddad, Jim Truman, won at Indy and was a great sports car racer. And now Austin Cindric has his second career win, Jamie.
What a turn of events for Austin Cindric. Austin, you have to have yourself in position to capitalize on moments like that. That's exactly what you and this team did. What is going through your mind right now to end this winless streak and get back to victory lane?
Yeah, honestly, I'm heartbroken for the 12 team. I don't know what happened to them at the end of the race, but they deserve to win this race. So Ryan's been a hell of a leader on this team, and you know, this weekend was a great weekend for everybody involved. But yeah, to have 2 cars in the fight, you know, an eventual 1-2 there, and like I said, heartbroken for those guys. But this is huge for me. This is huge for this team. I'm so glad I was able to get a win with Brian as my crew chief in the Cup Series. You know, you never know when it's going to happen again, and just drive my butt off, hope for the best.
Austin, I know you live racing. This is all you do. You work harder than most drivers I've ever seen. It's been a struggle for you, for this team, especially this year. What does a win like this do for your team, you personally, and Team Penske?
It's everything. It's absolutely everything. And the funniest thing about it is that this Freightliner 4 Mustang is probably one of the best looking cars on the racetrack. And I have had terrible races every single time with this car, and it's great to win with a great paint scheme. Great to win in front of an amazing crowd. This racetrack does an amazing job of putting on events, and just proud to be able to do it, proud to bring it home for these guys. They deserve it.
Austin Cindric wins at St. Louis.
Ryan Blaney officially comes home in 24th place after coasting across the line. Ryan, appeared you had everything just like you wanted at the end of the race. Was there any thought that maybe you were going to get low on fuel there?
No, I didn't think so. So yeah, never thought in my mind we were short, but one of those things. Yeah, gosh, I mean, I'm proud of the 12 boys. Menard's Richmond Ford was fast and had my work cut out for me holding off Christopher, and that was a fun battle. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, just one lap short, which just stinks. But congrats to the 2 team. They did a good job all day. So props to them, Austin. Proud for Team Penske and Ford. Really happy with our showing today. Just I don't know what I got to do to get some luck on our side. We've, gosh, wrecked the last 2 points races and thought we had a great shot to win today, and ended up bad. So just appreciate the effort. Just got to keep sticking with it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Well spoken, like a champion.
He's a better man than I am. I wanted to cry. Wanted to cry for him. Oh, what a heartbreak.
Well, the other heartbreak driver in this race is with Jamie.
Christopher Bell brings it home 7th. And Christopher, we've been talking all broadcast about the strength of this car, how fast it was. That battle for the win there. What exactly happened? What did you feel?
I mean, I have no idea what happened. Some sort of motor issue. And I'm surprised that it made it to the end. So glad that we were able to salvage something out of it. But you don't get race cars like that very often. And whenever you do, you need to take advantage of them. So that's disappointing day.
How about your teammate, Martin Truex Jr., coming to the rescue, trying to help you to finish this race?
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome. I think he's probably saved us top 10 out of the day. So Martin's a stand-up guy.
What a surprise ending. Christopher Bell's car goes sour. Ryan Blaney runs out of fuel. Austin Cindric wins in St. Louis. Well, they'll break it all down in the Charlotte studio right after this.